Man, it does feel good to be right. Frostfire Bolt reigns supreme, and Deep Frost is more than viable. You won't need to beg a mage to go Frost, so everyone can benefit from Winter's Chill, Scorch. I mean, all the mage buffs are going to be in the raid. So let's talk about Fire and Frost Mage really quick. First of all, if you're a Fire Mage, stop running Balefire Bolt if you are. I predicted this on my last video, that Molten Armor and Frostfire Bolt is just better than worrying and doing Balefire Bolt. Doesn't seem strong enough right now. Frostfire Bolt is very strong, and Ice Shard's crit damage is massive. So this is your Deep Fire build and the runes. You just maintain Scorch stacks and your Living Bomb, and then you Frostfire Bolt the rest of the time. The Phase 2 Pyroblast Hot Streak build does okay damage, but it's also very mana intense, so it's not that great for Sunken Temple. But let's talk about Deep Frost, and why is frost damage so high, and why is it really good to just have in the raid for your mages in general? Well, it's because of Winter's Chill. So this is the spec and the runes for Deep Frost, and you won't have as much natural crit because you're going to be going Fingers of Frost so that you can run Deep Freeze, which hits incredibly hard. And like I said, both mage specs are very strong right now, and most raids should have two mages, so it's fully viable that one goes Fire and one goes Frost, and they're both benefiting off of each other. If you have multiple mages, or like 3 or 4 mages, it really doesn't matter at that point. Maybe just have one Frost and the rest Fire. It does look like Fire has the higher ceiling, but then again, I think Frost might have the higher ceiling if it's just really lucky getting Fingers of Frost procs. And this mage plays very similar to Fire Mage. It's basically the same thing. You keep up Living Bomb and you Frostfire Bolt. You just don't Scorch. Only the Fire Mage has to make sure the Scorch stacks stay on. And don't forget to use Cold Snap to reset your Icy Veins cooldown. You can definitely do at least 2 Icy Veins per boss fight, and if your fight is over 3 minutes, you can maybe even do 3. Getting the 10% extra crit from Winter's Chill also helps out Fire Mages because they are using Frostfire Bolt. It does not help out Balefire Bolt, which was confusion in my last video, I guess. People maybe thought I was saying that Winter's Chill helps Balefire Bolt. No, it does not. It just helps Fire Mages who are using Frostfire Bolt. In terms of spell power and what type of gear to use, if you're running Deep Frost, if you're that mage, I do think it's important to try to get as much balance in your spell power as possible because you are doing things like Living Bomb and Deep Freeze, so you have a fire and an ice spell. But there is some gear where you have to choose Fire or Frost, like the Ring or the Offhand. If you get an Eye of Flame, of course, then of course just go fire damage. And you can still run Deep Freeze as a heavier like fire damage mage, but it just won't hit as hard. You could also switch out Fingers of Frost to Burnout, but I mean, that's just up to you if you want to do that at that point. I still think going Fingers of Frost and Deep Freeze is really fun, but just in case you were wondering, you can wear your fire gear and go Deep Frost and still do great damage. So what do you guys think? What are you going to play in Raid? And do you think Balefire Bolt's going to get buffed at all? Oh yeah, Deep Frost is only going to get better too because it should get Frozen Orb next phase. And Deep Fire will be better because it's going to get the 6% damage from Piercing Ice, as well as get Cold Snap, which is going to allow you to reset the cooldown on your Icy Veins. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions, concerns, or comments down below.